Hello and welcome to the Gozdno T-Prix. Restarting Season 1 after a slightly extended mid-season break, and we've just witnessed an tense sprint finish between Not That Guy and Skip, where Not That Guy eventually triumphed with the sprint victory, but now it's time for some T-Prix action, 30 laps. So let's take a look at the grid first of all from the sprint results. Here we are, Not That Guy will be starting in the front row alongside Skip. Jurini and Levy, it's a completely Belarusian second row. Kamikaze and Corvid makes it a third row lockout for Renault Magan. Then we have Botti and Butter, Julo and Suicide starting from the fifth row. Sixth row occupied by Bluebell Boy and Kraft. Seventh row belongs to Stefano and Arcaniac. Then we have Amateur and Jake starting from 15th and 16th respectively. Belgian Senna and Shiloh will be starting from the second last row, and on the last row we will see both Alfa Romeo's Mr. Crunk starting from 19th and Emma Box from 20th after a lackluster sprint from the Italian outfit. So let's get right into the T-Prix. Here we go, Not That Guy starting with soft, so Skip and Jurini, but Levy's starting on the hards, and here we go, Not That Guy closes off the avenue for Skip, also for his own teammate Jurini. Jurini trying to get past Skip here, and he does so. Looks like he's trying to get past his own teammate, and that allows Skip back into P2, and look, he wants to go on the outside of Not That Guy, now it's the inside. Nice, smooth overtake for first place Skip into the lead of the race, spending, of course, 4 tokens. I think he is the only driver spending 4 tokens this weekend. And we saw he's out for blood here. Lost the sprint just barely to Not That Guy due to his undercut. Levy up into second, and he's on the hards, and he's gotten past both Peugeot runners on the softs. Now that is something. Now that is truly magnificent there. Not That Guy, Jurini, Kamikaze, also with this leading pack who have just separated themselves from the rest of the field. So we've got Skip, we got Not That Guy fighting Lev for second, using his boost here to get far away from him. Kamikaze, then Levy, then Jurini, then we have Suicide. Leading the second pack in sixth, but Corvid gets past him. Kraft also tries to get past him, and he does so, and there's Stefano in ninth, and Arcaniac in the final points position. And a moment, what is Gillo doing back here? Down in 11th. He is not having a great weekend at Slovenia. Butter as well scored 1 point in the sprint, but now he's down into 12th. Botti into 13th after a similarly good performance in the sprint. Then we have Bluebell Boy leading the final pack of drivers. Shiloh, Belgian Senna, Jake, Emma Box, Mr. Crunk, and Amateur currently in last. But Skip is out in the lead, and he's gotten a little gap ahead of the rest. Fight here, Jurini looks to have separated. In fact, it looks like Kraft is about to catch him. So he must have run into a rough patch of pace there. Skip still in the lead, Not That Guy currently in second. And Levy is left to deal with Kamikaze, who holds the fastest lap at 37.72. But if you remember, Skip had a lap of 37.58 in the sprint as the fastest lap of the sprint. And let's see if Kami or anyone else will be able to beat that. Kami right now struggling to get past Levy, despite being on the better tires, does boost past him, but it's not enough to get Levy off his tail, and it looks like Jurini might come back into this fight for third place soon enough if they keep squabbling. Meanwhile, Not That Guy is looking to catch back up to Skip after the latter ran away, the British driver. And Not That Guy goes down the inside, doesn't have enough traction through that corner to land the overtake on Skip, and now he squeezes his way in. But Skip now on the inside gets him back. Not That Guy into the final corner, and they're both into the pits. Luckily, no one forced into the pit stop there. Kami is now in the lead On the mediums, of course, Girouni stays out on the softs. He thinks he can handle an alternative strategy with the softs staying out a lap longer, but it's obvious that he is struggling quite a bit here. Skip and Not That Guy have pit out into 5th and 6th. Skip on another set of softs, Not That Guy switching to hards. Call me, when will he pit? Will it be lap 6? Will it be lap 7? We're about to find out. It'll potentially be lap 7, if not later, for any reason. Girouni is into the pits now. Not That Guy in the provisional lead, but here comes Skip round the outside of him, and he's just got way more speed on those softer tires, and he's zooming away from Not That Guy at the current moment, trying to establish a gap so that when he has to pit earlier, it'll be more of an undercut and less of a time loss. Comey struggling on those mediums now, goes wide at the exit of the first chicane, and he's into the pits. Levy inherits the race lead, but it's looking quite sunny. So who can say what will happen for the rest of this race? Right now, Levy in the lead. Skip has the provisional race lead, and Comey has actually overcut Not That Guy, and he's just ahead of him now. That is quite interesting. Comey has pitted into another set of mediums. Julo is still out on mediums, and he's slowing down Girouni, who's on a set of hards after pitting off of softs. Yet Julo is not letting him get past, holding down P5, but that will be lower once he gets into the pits. At least it's better than being in 11th, but we'll see what position he's in after he enters the pits here. Skip has caught up to Levy now. Looks like Levy staying out for lap 9 was a complete mistake for him, as he has to pit now unless this gives him some extra time later on in the race. Skip and Comey now battling for the race lead after leaving Levy behind in the dust. Skip with the faster tires, but he's already starting to feel the effects of the tire wear. We see Jake, Belgian Senna, and Shiloh heading into the pits there. They've been lapped by Skip and by Comey, and Skip makes a mistake there, but he does have his... no, he doesn't. Thought for a second he had his fastest lap of the race. He did not. Not That Guy. Comey in 3rd. Comey looking to challenge Skip for that first position. Has to get past the blue flag driver, Amateur. Breaks a lot there. Doesn't break much there. Uses Amateur as a bit of a break. And he's right behind Skip on slightly harder but also more fresh tires. Really challenging Skip for that first spot now, and there goes Comey after starting on pole position and sprint, starting from 5th here after a lackluster sprint, and he's into the lead of the race, spending 3 tokens. His final 3 tokens. Let's bring up the token spend. Here he is spending his final 3 tokens after this race. Joining Jake, Amateur, and Mr. Crunk with no tokens will also be Girouni, Kamikaze, and Skip spending their final tokens here. Girouni spending his final 2, Kami spending his final 3, and Skip spending his final 4, and we'll see if this allows other drivers to shine in the final 3 rounds, or if they perhaps keep up strong performances while tokenless. Skip now pit for a second time. Onto the hards, looking to gain a bit of advantage over the other 2 drivers in front of him by stretching out this stint as opposed to his previous 2 stints, which were on the shorter side. Let's take a look at the rest of the field. Levy is actually in front of Girouni in 4th, so the hard strat has still kept him in this top 4. Great performance from him as he's rocking his third livery of the season at the current moment, and he's planning to change his livery for every round from here on out. So we will be able to see quite a few nicely colored, nicely detailed cars from him in the following rounds as the end of World Tour Virtual Season 1 approaches. Girouni quite a bit behind. He's in 5th place at the current moment, comfortably in 5th. Kraft running in 6th. He didn't score any points in the sprint, so this is quite solid from him. Shiloh gets a penalty from forcing him wide despite being a blue flag driver. Suicide is in 7th at the moment, so he is on track for those first points. Who else was on track for the first points? That's right, Bluebell Boy down in 13th right now. Julo is in 8th place, not having the greatest weekend to be honest, but that might be due to his competitors also spending around the amount of tokens that he has, or even more than him. Botti in 9th, making it double points for Audi at the moment, and Arcaniac best of the rest, currently holding down 10th. Corvid in 11th, looking to catch up to him. They're both on quite worn tires. Corvid's into the pits. Arcaniac will probably be into the pits from next lap onwards. Stefano up into 11th. Blue Boy still in 13th. Then we have Emma Box in 14th. Butter and 15th after scoring points in the sprint will be kind of disappointing, but he does get up into 14th now. Mr. Kong is 16th, Belgian Sin in 17th, Amateur in 18th, Shallow, and then Jake in last. Kami and Skep battling for the lead here. Skep is on fresh hards. Kami is on dead mediums. He will have to be pitting this lap. Goes wide on the first chicane exit. Nearly goes wide on the second chicane exit, but of course that second chicane exit has slightly more space there. Looks to be blocked by Arcaniac for a bit there, but does not have to double back for his pit. And not that guy and Levy are pitting at the exact same time. And where will Girouni come out in all of this? Well, he's still in 5th. So the top 4 in a league of their own at the current moment. Well, Girouni only pit a lap before, so he is still chilling that top 5 against Julo actually, and not far behind him, having pitted the same amount of times. Botti and Suicide for sure, and a bit of a league of their own. Kraft on fresher tires will probably be passing both of them, so there will be this battle for 7th or 8th between Botti, Suicide, and Kraft, I can imagine. Stefano currently best of the rest in 10th, getting that solitary point for Hyundai i30. It's back to the top. Skep is leading the race, and he does have... Oh, looks like Corvid, Kami's teammate at Renault, had forced him wide there, and that might cost him a bit of time. Chulo with the new fastest lap of the race at 37.68, just a tenth slower than Skip's fastest lap in the sprint. That might be part of the reason why he has found himself not too far behind the top 5 at the current moment, but they're still quite spread out. Skip's still leading, then we have Kami, then we have Not That Guy, Levy, Girouni, and Julo's now lost quite a bit of time now. 7 seconds behind Girouni, so in a bit of his own predicament here. And those softs are looking quite bizarre with how he's driving them. Then we have Kraft back up into 7th after Suicide and Botti pit. Suicide and Botti are fighting each other for 8th like I predicted, which means they're also losing time to Kraft, but they are already quite a ways behind Kraft. Corvid right now in that best of the rest solitary point position of 10th. Arcaniac around 2 seconds behind him, looks to be catching up. He does have slightly fresher hards, and Corvid is struggling quite a bit with a driver he's lapping and the driver he's getting lapped by, but he gets past both of them, gets past Belgian Senna who he's lapping, and past Jake who he's also lapping, who are all fighting each other for that 18th position. Quite mad. Skip. Those hards have seen better days now. We're 2/3 through the race and Kami's catching up on his fresher mediums, but Skip looks to have only one pit left, so does Kami. Skip exhausting his softs early on. He'll have to go for a hards or a medium here to see him to the end of the race, while Kami will probably have the option of softs. So it'll be an interesting battle to see who will end up winning this race. Skip stays out another lap, which means he is most likely going for those mediums to finish off the race and to counteract Kami's softs as much as possible. After all, he is keeping as close as possible to Kami despite being on more worn hards, so that suggests he could do the same. A little bit of lag here, a little bit of lag here. Not that guy gets past Skip. Lag clearing up. Kami in first. Not that guy past Skip into second. The Skip really struggling on those hards, but will it have been worth it to get those mediums at the end? He's going for the mediums, right? Go up. Quite about that. Alright, hopefully the lag has been resolved and Skip is into the pits here. Onto a set of hards. He's going onto the hards for the final 8 laps of the race. Kami and Not That Guy ahead of them, both on the same wear of mediums as they did pit at the same time. Jiruni just ahead of Lev. Lev's on the better tires, so Lev's looking potentially pit on the softs for the final stint. Kami is into the pits. Not That Guy stays out. Skip is catching up. He's 8 seconds behind. 8 seconds. And Kami goes on to softs for 7 laps. So you can see the difference there. 7 lap softs versus 8 lap hards. That leaves no space for mediums at all. And we've not seen any rain so far this race. We only saw a little bit of rain in the sprint. It looks like there's been a drought all over the universe recently. Not That Guy staying out that extra lap. I don't think that was the right move. He's staying out for another lap. Lap 25. He's going for those softs for sure, but he's not going for 7 lap softs like Kami is. But it's really helping out Kami here to get ahead of Skip, and I don't think Skip would be able to catch up to Kami. I thought he was going to go for mediums. If mediums could even last 8 laps. Definitely did not expect this, but Kami is already past Not That Guy, whose mediums are just completely dead, and he will be pitting for 5 laps of softs. Will Kami's undercut work to get him the win here? Not That Guy's into the pits. Kami's into the lead. Lev and Jiruni quite far a ways now. Jiruni has pitted, Lev has not. Is Lev going to pit this lap? Yes, he is. Corvette slows him down, however. Here we have Kami still in first, and those softs are not showing signs of wear just yet. He's still quite ahead of Skip. No, Skip just used his boost, deployed it. He's gained a second, but he's starting to slowly lose that back. Jiruni ahead of Levy now, who's pitted onto those softs, and Julo is close behind him, but Julo's going to have to pit now. Nobody prepared for this final stint in their plans. Were they hoping to stand for longer? Were they just not thinking ahead? Kami is now 2.5 seconds ahead of Skip, and it would be absolutely criminal if Skip were to catch up in both the sprint and the T-Prix to within a second of the race leader and still not be able to get through. But here, will he even be able to catch up to within a second of Kami? Currently still 3 seconds away, and Kami's softs are only starting to wear. What is this race, man? What is this turn 2? Kami slowed down a bit by blue flag drivers. That's Skep's only hope right now, but Skep is behind 3 of them himself. Still 2 seconds now, 2 seconds behind Kami. Kami's softs are starting to wear now, that much is clear. Skep under 2 seconds behind Kami, but he's struggling a bit against Botti, gets past Botti. Kami getting past Belgian Senna. Slows down a lot through there. Skep does not slow down through the first chicane. Kami now trying to get past Arcaniac on turn 1. Arcaniac gives him trouble. Arcaniac gives him more trouble. Arcaniac forces him wide, gets a penalty. 2 penalties for blue flag drivers near Skep, but he gets past both of them as a result. But he is 3 seconds back, man. 3 seconds back, goes wide there. The hards are also starting to feel the wear, and he's got more traffic to get past. And it's just the same old game. Kami gets past Girouni. Skep is within 1.5 seconds. There's 3 blue flag drivers ahead of them. Kami struggling with craft, but those softs are just holding on. They've just managed to get into the most traffic ever. Not that guy's actually caught up to Skep, but gets a penalty there, forcing Jake wide, and loses a ton of time. Kami's back to 3 seconds out of Skep. Skep really slowed down by that traffic, and those hards are struggling just as much as Kami's softs are, you could even say. But Kami now has a fully empty track ahead of him in this final lap of the race. Skep's only got 1 blue flag driver between him and Kamikaze. It's Botti. Skep on the outside of Botti just doesn't get forced too wide. Skep deploys a bit of boost. Skep just behind Kami, but Kami wins the Gozdno T-Prix. Skep in second, not that guy in third. And Girouni will be finishing in 4th. Once again, it does indeed happen. I'm sorry for jinxing it, but Skep, just like in the Gozdno sprint, just loses out on the win despite being so incredibly close to taking that victory. Gillo in 6th, good effort from Volkswagen. Levy, of course, in 5th, and now Botti looks to be finishing in 7th, so a great effort from Audi as well. Looks like their upgrades in recent rounds have really helped them out with that 6 grip and that free speed. And Botti finishes 7th. Suicide gets his first points in World Tour Virtual with a finish in 8th. Kraft finishes 9th. Corvid, best of the rest, is going to finish in 10th place, making it double points for Kami. Everyone in the top 10 is in a Renault sandwich. Stefano finishes 11th, so close but no cigar. Same is true for Bluebell Boy. Spent 3 tokens and will be finishing 12th. And Butter 13th. Arcaniac is close behind, however, in 14th. Mr. Crunk, Emma Box, Amateur, Shiloh, Belgian Senna, finally Jake in last. And that is the Gozdno T-Prix, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll see you quite soonish, considering the delay on this race. See you Friday and Saturday, hopefully, if we do not experience any more delays, for the Imola T-Prix. See you then.